hello. Welcome. Come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. Get on in here, y'all. Get on in here. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. You are now in the den. So, guys, of course, we are here today to break down Yellowjackets, talk about episode 2, y'all. Season 2, episode 2, Edible Complex. Let me go ahead and bring my co-host out so we could, chop it up and talk about it. It is your favorite Ziva. Okay, Nita the Ziva.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, Nita.
Hey, Tamika. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. I'm
I'm so
excited to talk
excited.
about this show.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's too funny because you remember last week it was a little janky, y'all. I do apologize, but we are in here this week. I got all my thoughts and everything together. So come on in. We about to discuss a juicy, pun intended.
Yes, like the name of this episode was Edible Complex. I said, well, I have had edibles before, but not these. This one we talking about with this episode.
Right.
This was a bit much. What did you think about this episode?
Oh my goodness. It was a lot. It was a lot. Like we said, the first one was a setup episode. For sure. This one delivered on everything that is set up. I got so much payoff with this episode that it was just a great episode overall. I give it like a 9. Are we going to rate it at the end? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just
It's okay. Hey, Savannah. Yes. Please hit the like and subscribe to myself and Nita. I appreciate it if you are not already subscribed. Hey, Monique. Okay, you said you didn't watch the episode yet. It actually took me a couple days to watch it, but I had to watch it because I had to get up here and do this review. But I was a little behind in watching it myself. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, girl. Make sure you come back.
Appreciate it.
Make sure you come back after you finish it and catch the replay. Hey, Michelle. I thank y'all for joining us. So yeah, I definitely thought this episode was interesting, and I just want to say before we get started, like last week I couldn't remember. I've been getting a lot of brain fog this past week, y'all. Sometimes that happens to me when little stresses be going on, but I couldn't quite remember. I was saying it was about 12 months, but baby, it was somebody left in the comments that it was 19 months, and then I think it was Miss T yesterday that said it was 18 months. But anyway, we know it was more than a year. And when we started out with last week's episode, we know we were meeting them at being out there for 2 months at that time. So we actually got a lot of ground that we could cover when it comes to this whole situation that they're going through. So we're going to go ahead and get into it and talk about some of this stuff that we were seeing going down in this episode. Now, I will say the first beginning part, well, this is kind of dark, y'all. I don't know. Y'all know some of the scenes when they dark. When they, in the dark, it be kind of can't see too clearly. But this is when she first is talking with Jackie. She continuously seems to be out here in this daggone a little shack having conversations with Jackie, braiding her hair, just a whole dialogue happening between them two. What was you thinking about that?
Right. It was just a continuation of her losing her ish. Okay. She is like real, like full on, like, I really want to chalk it up to them kind of being almost delirious. Like they're in this state of like survival mode. It was just crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, this was a mess, but we'll get more into it as we start. I'm not gonna jump.
Definitely. She's talking about some braid my hair because you want to cover the daggone ear that came off. Now I will also say, y'all, I got a little sick with something that happened in the beginning part of the episode and then towards the end of the episode, child, because they was getting the dinner ready. And of course, now we know they low on food. I guess they not really finding, animals. The animals is probably hibernating. There's probably none around. We ain't got no berries. We ain't got no fruits, nothing. So we trying
Right.
to hold on to,
The
what
last
food we do have. And they're still complaining about her being out there saying it's too cold for her to be out there just, holding these conversations and her not eating properly and then being pregnant. And they saying they need to go ahead and, tell her to come in and make sure nobody don't eat her food and all that kind of stuff. I feel like Ty was really kind of going the hardest for her. I don't know that the
right.
other ones was that, worried. And
Right. I agree.
they started complaining, like, what is that smell? Saying somebody didn't wash themselves up or whatever. I was like, what is happening here? Oh gosh, you got any comments about that scene or just the beginning part of how the
It
episode
was
started?
it was just so funny how as the scene progressed along, when the girl was like, when they found out what it was, it ended up being somebody did a number two where they were supposed to do a
Mm-hmm.
number one.
Right.
And she was like, is it a girl or is it a boy? I said,
Yeah, that
because
made me
you
laugh.
can tell, right? You can tell. And I honestly want to say that is true. You can tell a girl poop from
Hmm.
a boy poop.
Yeah, they
Okay.
was like, come on, how the heck we supposed to know? That had me cracking up though. I was like, oh Lord.
I
Oh
thought it was
man.
funny though.
Hmm. So of course this is just like, child, when she start making up her daggone face and everything, I said, Lord, I feel bad for her. Like
Right.
I just feel like this explains so much of what we see to a certain degree when we see the grown up Shauna and how she kind
Definitely.
of holds on to things and different things of that nature. Because baby, she definitely was not trying to let this young lady Jackie go, and she wasn't trying to let her ear go last week. She was walking around with that. So I don't know, y'all. It's definitely a lot. I just I
Yeah.
couldn't sit there and do that. But I guess, if your mind is gone, then
Right. That's what I said. I had to chalk it up to them kind of either being like PTSD from the whole plane
mhm,
crash, them being there all those weeks or months
right.
or whatever, and on the verge of the last part of their food, they are like going crazy. That's what I
Mhm.
think. I swear.
Yeah.
And then we got she's grieving. So
Yeah.
there's another element right on top of that with her.
Mhm. Definitely. So of course, this is when we get to the girlfriend. I mean, to the daughter with her boyfriend. Ooh, this daughter, Lord have mercy. I mean, I get it on the one hand because we already talked about last week that her and her mother just keep bumping heads. She already have a certain way she think of her mother, and now she's kind of including her father in it too because she feel like he knows, and she knows that he had to be a part of the whole burning the stuff on the daggone grill.
Right.
So now she kind of mad at him too. And she's sitting here telling the boyfriend, like, oh, my parents don't even care about me. They don't care where I'm at. They acting like everything is just, hunky dory. And he's looking at it in a way where it's like, oh, okay, that means more time for us when we can hang out and chill. What did you think about this whole?
A mess, a mess. That girl, I don't know if you watched this show on Netflix called The Night Agent. She's the VP daughter, and she plays a similar character, like just a-hole, like an angsty
Oh,
teen.
uh-huh.
And she reminds me so much of the other character that's neither here nor there. But if y'all get a chance, check The Night Agent out. It was
Okay, I'm not too sure if I ever saw that. It sound familiar though. I think I might have just seen it up there. I don't know if I ever got a chance to get into it. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I mean, it just pretty much goes into her teenage angst or whatever. But
Mm,
baby, what she do later on in the episode, that's the icing on the cake right there.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely, because he was over here like, oh, well, that means they not gonna be checking for you, and you can stay over here as much as you want. My mother texted asking if I think he said banana pancakes or something. She was like, no, I'm breaking up with you. I said, Lord, he didn't know no better though, because he really don't know the whole situation. He just know,
The
she's
bits
saying
and
something
pieces.
going on, but she is not like
Right.
she telling him the details. Um, I thought this was interesting too because we know that Ty definitely has bad sleepwalking issues and she got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Um, so we found out that Van has actually been tying herself to her because when she wake up and don't see her there, we seeing like this rope that's on her. And homegirl was out there walking in that cold with no shoes, nothing on. Like I would have thought the cold would have woke her up. It's like she be in a trance and she was seeing some kind of like no face man. It seemed like she was following by him. Like, how did you feel about this whole part?
Yes, yes. Oh my God. This speaks to my theory. My theory is that she's has some kind of possession going on or she has multiple personalities because
I
of
agree.
the sleepwalking. um it seems like she turns into some kind of a aggressive mean entity, like
Mm-hmm.
we'll see later on in the episode or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But her losing track of her sleeping and stuff like that, that is some it lines up with multiple personality disorder.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so she could have the whole sleepwalking thing going on as well too. When you have those types of issues, and then I also still think that there's something supernatural going on in
Mm-hmm.
that force that has something to do with that symbol, that has something to do with Lottie. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I mean, she literally could have went over that cliff if Van did not catch her when she did. She would have been a
Yes.
goner. So
Yeah.
I was like,
That was smart of Van to actually tie herself to her so she could
mm-hmm. Because
feel,
she was trying to
whatever.
figure out, like, how the heck did you even cut the string? She's like, I don't know. That's really
Right.
scary.
Yeah. And you remember in the first episode when she kissed her and then she kissed her and she bit her lip and it didn't really feel
Mm-hmm.
like something that Ty would do, but it felt like
Mm-hmm.
something that something was taking control of her, something that would.
Right.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. And at this point, this of course is when we see, grown
Oh,
up Ty, and she just trying to drink as much coffee as she can. She trying to work as much as she can, work out, you name it, she doing it to try to fight off her sleep, child. And that was just making her even more delirious. And I could say, as somebody that I don't sleepwalk, but I have bad insomnia. So, like, you can't go a certain amount of hours without no sleep. So, when that
right.
happens, and sometimes I've went like 24 hours and stuff, you become irritable. You become,
Right.
anxious. You just become delusional, delirious. That be happening. So, for her to have this problem with the sleepwalking and she trying to keep herself up past a certain amount of time and all that. And we
Yeah.
know she got other issues. I could just imagine like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
right.
horrible.
This was all that mental health on steroids, and
Mm-hmm.
it turned out to be all disastrous. Okay.
Yeah. So now at this point, I definitely want to know y'all opinions about this because I was kind of conflicted. Like, we know that her, who is it? It's Natalie, right? Yes, Natalie and Travis
Mhm.
that go on these walks looking for Javi. They're
Right.
also trying to get food. They kind of, we talked about it last week. We touched on the fact that it seemed like this is their regular routine, like they've been doing it for a minute. And it's also some type of connection that he's having with Lottie, where Lottie kind of does this ritual over him before he leaves. She didn't want to have the ritual no more, but they were saying this is what has been keeping y'all, coming back safe. And we seeing
Right.
her looking out the window at them like she jealous and stuff. And then they go ahead for this walk. But we also see her, do some other things that we gonna get into in a little bit. And I'm just like, how did you feel about this whole? So and it's so looks so cold, and that snow looks so deep that they walking through. Like I couldn't do it. I can't stand the snow, y'all. I
I
don't
know,
mind
yeah.
looking at it when it look pretty and nothing ain't been touched, but I don't want to walk through no deep snow like that, especially not now.
Right, right. Exactly. Yeah, something about Lottie, like she gives me something else. Like keep your eye on Lottie. Lottie,
Mm-hmm.
there is a whole nother backstory to her. A whole nother backstory to her. And I believe that she has a lot to do with what is going on, even in the younger timeline. I think that she has a lot to do with that as well as the older timeline or whatever. But yeah, it was did we get to the part where she found his brother's Javi's pants? Wasn't that here? That wasn't here. Not Moochie. Tamika. Is this where she found his pants and she cut herself? I can't hear you. Hold on.
We didn't get there yet. That's the next stop. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't
Okay, so
realize I was on
okay.
mute.
Okay, sometimes I don't know if you're gonna touch on that part or whatever. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
we
yeah, no,
going there next because I didn't really care for that part. I wanted y'all opinion on what y'all thought about her doing that. I kind of had mixed emotions. I kind of
yeah,
got it, and I felt like she did that for several different reasons. But I felt like some of it was a little selfish and a little jealousy going
yeah,
on too.
yeah, absolutely,
Hmm.
yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. I was trying to.
That's okay. I'm sorry. I was
But
like, I didn't know which way we were going to
yes,
touch.
Tina, definitely feeling like it's some multiple personalities going on in
Hey,
there.
Moochie.
Hey,
Thanks for
Hoochie, what's going on? If y'all not subscribed to Luchella Reviews, make sure y'all go through and check her out. Okay, we be doing reviews together too, Snowfall and Love After Lockup and all different kind of discussions.
mm-hmm.
Um, hit the hammer, let her know you came through. So yeah, now this is when they kind of made the decision that they were going to go separate ways. She's more so talking about the food aspect of it, but I think that this is where she just kind of wanted to set up her game plan that she had. And then he, of course, is just looking for Javi and saying, no, we didn't go this direction. So they say they were going to meet back at that tree, that we
Oh,
saw
right.
where she was saying now like you were saying with Lottie, I don't know what the heck Lottie's story is because Lottie out here and all
Yeah,
this daggone land. She's, got these people. Now, mind you, she's saying this is not a cult, but I said, I guess most people would say, whatever they believe in is not a cult, but it may
child,
look like
it's
a
a
cult
cult.
to us.
It's a
Yeah,
cult.
because it's giving me cult, okay? It's definitely giving me cult. So, and I was not buying the story she was giving Natalie at all. I didn't
No,
buy the story as far as saying, "Oh, I was so worried about you, and I had the people watching you, trying to make sure everything." I ain't buy
yeah,
none of it, and I don't think Natalie was buying it either. How did you
exactly.
feel? How did you feel?
That's why the lady got the fork in the hand.
You're right.
She was not buying it.
Hmm. Yeah, I just was like, not even no. So the daughter's still sitting here with this picture. She taking after her mama the same way her mama like to hold on to things. She holding on to things too. And her mother
Right.
tried to come in there and talk to her. I don't know if you want to talk about this part, what you got from it.
No. All I know is that's like one more piece of evidence that will come and probably bite them in the
Hmm. And they
that's what
don't
that
even
is.
know she done went and took it off the daggone grill. I'm like, girl.
Right.
So of course with Misty, I don't think Misty has such a big role this episode, but she
Uh,
still knows that it was something going on with, of course, Natalie, more to the story that Natalie didn't leave on her own, and she's trying to contact Shauna and Ty to get their help with this. But of course Ty's busy over there, you know, in dream world, hallucinating, trying to stay up and everything else. And Shauna is just, you know, I guess trying to reach out to her daughter. So neither one of them are answering her calls at this point.
right.
And then we go back to the, past. And this is when Ty is like, oh hell no, this chick done lost her damn mind, and she going there and see her that makeup and everything on. on Jackie. What you thought about this part?
It's too funny because Ty, one of the most disturbed ones in the group, sitting up there
Mm-hmm.
talking about somebody that lost their damn mind, and she
Right.
calling her out on her foolishness, and you got a whole lot of stuff that you need to unpack yourself. But yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
was, we were doing team too much with the makeup and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I get it, Ty, but girl, clean your own yard up first.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought it was good. I'm glad
Definitely,
somebody said it.
definitely.
Somebody needed to say it.
Yeah. I mean, it was too much. I said that last week, just with the whole, we holding this daggone body and talking to it for 2 months. That was already too much. But then we was finding out the ground was too frozen for them to bury her. So it's like, well, what's the options? I felt conflicted with that part too, because I was just kind of like, if y'all do get found, what do you say to her parents? Like, you don't have nothing left of her. They can't have no kind of service, but we know we can't hold the daggone body forever either. So it was just
Right.
like, what's your options? And of course, they end up, because after she sees that, she goes out there and goes off, blows it up. Like, do y'all know what the hell she in there doing? So that's when we kind of saying, all right, we're going to cremate her. And of course, Shauna wasn't really with that. Lottie kind of seemed like she was kind of taking her side too and telling them to, back off. This was her best friend and stuff like that. Give her time. Everybody just was kind of looking. But then I guess that made the most sense to burn her, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made the most sense.
So now, what did you think about this with the cop coming and all of that? And the daughter did call herself stepping in, like, to kind of break it up and interrupt and
Right.
say, "Oh, we."
Right. On one hand, it was a good look because
Mm-hmm.
we rushing out the house and we not
Yeah.
getting interrogated no more. But in the
Mm-hmm.
second half of the episode, she put a foot in her mouth at the bar. So there's
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
because
yeah,
I
so
kind of
you
felt
didn't
like
know how
she
you
don't
could
care
call
for her.
her.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying
I was
you
kind
don't
of
know how
feeling
to
like
call
she don't care for her mother, but at the same time, she's nervous and she don't want her to go to jail. I also felt like Shauna messed this part up with this cop so badly on her own too. Like Misty had a point when she was saying, "You don't know how to talk with the daggone cops, girl. You would end up messing up."
Right. Talking about, do I need a lawyer? He was
Mm-hmm.
like, huh? He was like, do you? I was like, okay, Monet part two.
Right. And somebody yesterday too has said that the daughter remind them of like the white version of Diane from Power. That was a good analogy. Running that damn mouth.
Right.
So, of course she had came in and told her thank you for, stepping in for her or whatever. And then when she was gonna leave, she was like, well, at least go out the back way so he don't see you. So it's like, she just acts so nonchalant about it.
Right.
Mm-mm-mm.
Shit. Sorry. I
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I don't know why I didn't like her saying go out the back door. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
that was kind of, I was
I
like,
didn't like
girl.
it. For some reason, I don't know why. I couldn't really put my finger on it, but I just didn't like it. It just didn't sit well. Why didn't you like it?
I don't know, but just it was kind of like she just was nonchalant. She act like it was really no big deal, and at the end of the day, it's still like it's your daughter. I don't know. It was just kind of weird,
Right. Yeah,
you
it felt
know.
weird. It just didn't feel right. I'm like, what do you
Yeah.
mean? What are you talking about? She don't have to make no kind of excuses about nothing. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Hmm. Yeah, it was definitely giving weird.
And that's Shauna for
Um.
you.
Yeah. It's like, look who we talking about. We can't be too
Right.
shy. So at this point, she come and see the son. Now I was saying how he got in there. Like I just never say, well, how he got in there, she and him. I'm like, okay, parents is arguing and he miss her and he close by the school. I really didn't go no further than that for me initially. And then she's
Right.
calling her up like he came here, whatever, it's not my fault. What did you think about this whole part?
this this is the part of the show that throws me for a loop where you don't know
Mm-hmm.
what's real and what's not
Mm-hmm.
real, what's dreaming, what's in the spirit
Right.
realm, what's in the, you just never know. And
Mm-hmm.
so this just didn't seem right for some reason. And
Mm-hmm.
it just goes to show you that she's an unreliable narrator. So whenever we're getting her point of view or whenever we're seeing something that's going on with her, we don't know what it is. And
Right.
I think that could be true for almost all of the girls. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to kind of call these things, but yeah, it was interesting, but for some reason I don't know why I didn't believe that right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't believe it.
Yeah,
And so
definitely.
I'm scared about Steve. I'm scared for the dog
Yes. Yeah.
because if
Yes.
the little boy wasn't there, Steve was there in the same hallucination. So I don't think Steve was there either.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember when she finally did wake up. I'm sorry if I'm jumping a
No, no,
little bit.
no.
I don't know if those are the next slides or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when we jump a little bit to um when Simone comes over, they see the door, the window is open. And so
Yes.
I'm like, so what happened? I'm thinking that the window is open because of Steve. I don't know why, but I don't know. It's just a mess. Like I'm just on the edge of my seat trying to figure out this stuff or whatever. So yeah,
Yeah, she makes me so nervous, and the wife is right to be concerned and
concern.
scared that you need to step back down and you need to focus on what's happening with you because at the end of the day, I don't know if you could end up hurting me. I don't know if you could end up hurting this little boy. You would, I don't, don't believe you would be doing it intentionally, but if you don't know what you're
Right,
doing, when you get
right.
into these things and you don't even know what's real and what's not, then that's a problem.
That is a
So
big
what do y'all think about this guy? Because Misty wanted help as far as the kid. I like him. I can't remember his name, the actor, but he some kind of way came in and like kind of set up this letter for
mhm.
her to be able to know what she can do to get in and to be able to see whatever's on the camera to know who took Natalie and all of that kind of stuff. But he was acting like this was a spy mission or whatever the case may be. Of course, he just come up to her in a normal way. So he seemed like he eccentric too.
Yeah. And he's
Hmm.
gonna be fun. I like when
Yeah.
he like the this note was self-destructing.
Right. I was like, now we doing the dag on Mission Impossible. Hey, Miss T. Hmm.
Too funny, too funny.
And of course, she figured out that she had to put the light on it to be able to read it. Because initially, I guess she was like, he gave me a blank paper, but then she figured it out. So of
Right.
course, this is what we was talking about before, with her actually taking the pants from out of the suitcase and cutting him. Now, when I first saw this, I was kind of like, so he don't know that like what Javi had on when he left and that the pants was still there. But I said, I'm probably thinking too much. And, all the stuff that's going on, I guess that wouldn't be on his mind because I felt like if he was going to be like, now, why are you trying to give me Javi pants that was in his suitcase? But he
Right.
didn't,
Right. Yeah,
So,
I was kind of unclear about it too. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just trying to take the context clues because season
right,
one is a little fuzzy. I haven't gone back.
right.
So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was like, of course, one of my questions was like, was Natalie right with planting the Javi pants and putting the blood and all that? I wasn't really feeling that, y'all. I ain't even gonna
yeah,
lie to y'all. I didn't agree with that, but I felt like it was a number of reasons. I felt like a piece of her probably really do feel like, listen, he ain't make it. We ain't found nobody. Nobody could actually survive in this type of weather. I also think she was just tired of going out there looking every daggone day. I definitely think it was a little bit of the jealousy as far as Lottie, and the
right.
connection that them two seem to be getting, and the fact that Lottie kept telling him that Javi is still around. I do personally believe that Javi is still around. For some reason,
Me
I
too.
don't think he's dead.
Me
And
too.
so I think that was kind of the combination of reasons why she did it, but I still don't necessarily think it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, I don't agree with it either. So no, she wasn't right. I mean, although we understand all the different angles and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, I still don't. I still don't. I don't believe in. It would have to be
Mm-hmm.
a long time before I like. No, I just don't think doing any kind of lie like that is good in any kind of way. So I'm just gonna
Mm-hmm.
I'm a scratch it. I can see if I can say if somebody was missing for over a year, something like that.
Right.
But like a couple of months, yeah, no. And you're in a place where people can be anywhere and stuff like that. So no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So of course, this is when we first are seeing, adults Travis, at least from Lottie's so-called perspective, what her story is of the last time she seen him. So apparently he was still reaching out to her. Did you buy any part of her story? I know I touched on that a little bit earlier that I wasn't buying her excuse as to why she watched Natalie or had people watching her and took her and all that. And I don't know that I fully believed her story with Travis either.
No, no. For some reason, Lottie seems like she has something else, some other kind of intentions, motivation, something
Mm-hmm.
else that is driving what she's doing. Now, with this Travis story, I do believe it to a certain extent because I keep on saying about that supernatural element that is,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's something else at play here. So,
Right.
yeah, so yeah, I don't believe the story about Natalie, no. She
Mm-hmm.
wants Natalie for a reason. She's watching Natalie for a reason. She wants her
Mm-hmm.
for a reason. There is something to that.
Yeah.
But Travis, he's gone. So yeah, I think she left some details about what
Mm-hmm.
happened.
Miss T said these two ladies have been fighting over his attention since the one. Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
jealous. Both of them jealous of each other.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was just when she was going back and forth, showing him, and then they was showing him, and them. Like I said, I don't think Natalie bought it. She was ready to go, but then she tells her, "Well, no, you're not gonna be able to leave till tomorrow. You got to stay the night." I don't trust that either. So then when she went in the room, I'm not quite sure what happened. She was gonna try to lay down, but then it was like she started getting flashes and stuff. They all, like we said, in some way or other, seem to get these flashes, and
Right.
they all have different trauma, different triggers. So,
Yeah.
y'all think Natalie making it out of there safe? Because was that really happening, or was that just something that she was seeing? That's the thing with this show. You don't know what's actually happening and what
Right.
is just inside their minds. Because it seemed
Right.
like she started seeing some people coming with some oxygen or something. So I don't know if that was a past memory.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
what
when
I was
they,
thinking. I thought it was a past memory, maybe when
mm-hmm,
Travis was alive back.
mm-hmm,
And when they were doing their drugs or something like that, and she had
mm-hmm,
overdosed, and somebody had came and revived her or something like that. Yeah, a
yeah, I
memory of
was
an
thinking
overdose.
maybe it was the past. They also touched a little bit what we knew as far as Lottie, especially once we seen I'm sorry, not Lottie, Natalie. Wait, was it Lottie Child? Now I'm starting to get them confused. Yes, Lottie. We saw that her parents at one point was giving her the shock therapy and all that because we talked about that. So we see that like Lottie had said to Natalie, "Well, girl, the last time I heard about you or I saw you, you was going in and out of rehabs. How's that going?" And then she
Right.
said to Lottie, like, "Well, last I heard about you, you was in and out of different, facilities, psych wards,
With-
whatever have you." To now end up coming here and supposedly helping these daggone people with this little coach you got going on. And she's like, well, "No, we are helping people." She's like, "Well, how the heck is, burying an old man in the dirt helping anybody?" But, of course, this is when we got to what you was talking about with them coming in. She had the chain on. She knocked out sleeping. That's when I started being like, "Oh, please don't tell me that she did all this and it just was not, he not even there." So, of course, they start to show us that all the time when she looking and calling and all of that, he wasn't there.
Right.
And like you said, we see her coming and the windows open, and she still really believes it. She's basically like, well, oh, he must be just acting out, and he, don't went somewhere for us to go looking for him or whatever. So now they trying to look for him, and I was like, please don't tell me. Up until the point when she actually got the call from the school, I kept saying like, oh, don't tell me that this was all in her head.
Right, right. So I'm sitting up here. Look, for one, honestly, I thought the wife was gonna say, let's go back downstairs to the altar or whatever
Mm-hmm.
to make sure he wasn't there. But I'm glad she didn't just jump
Mm-hmm.
to that conclusion. But that would have been
That did cross my mind as well. That definitely did cross
I
my
was just like,
mind.
ooh, Lord, have mercy with a baby.
Right. She's been watching Natalie for a long time. Weird, yep.
Mhm.
Split personalities for sure. Yeah, it
Yeah,
definitely did cross my mind. I was like, don't tell me she did something to that baby and he down there. And then the other part is I just kept being like, don't tell me she was imagining that whole thing or dreaming that whole thing and she don't call this lady and said, come here. So of course
right.
we get to this daggone part, and I said of all the people you could end up going and freaking talking to now, she at this bar for whatever reason she like, oh, he looking at me, and she want to go over there. I mean, I didn't see where he looked good to me. I would have probably just been looking like, oh, that old man is looking at me or whatever. Like I wouldn't have been interested, but for whatever reason, she was interested
Rebellious.
and she go over there and start a whole freaking conversation, y'all. So I put, did Shauna daughter throw her under the bus? She
You know, I
definitely,
honestly don't think that she did it intentionally.
yeah, she didn't.
I think she just got the slip of the tongue and it just happened to happen. So
Right. She was running her mouth way too much to a complete freaking stranger. I'm like, girl.
right.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, the daughter is going to overtake us, a baby. I don't
She's a
know. She just seemed like she's searching for some type of attention that she don't feel like she getting from, her mother, her father, whatever. And I don't know why she chose this guy to decide to talk to.
right.
Um, I was like, of everybody you could have chose, girl.
Right. But look, it looked like he was the only person in the bar. And then I blame the person that she was sitting at the table with because she wasn't even bothering that boy. She was in
Mm-hmm.
there talking to you. So
Right.
yeah,
Mm-mm-mm. So of
yeah.
course,
And this
we
what
then
happened.
find out that he's a damn cop and he's so happy and ready to run back with this info. But at the end of the day, would it really be admissible even though she did run her mouth because she's underage, right?
She's
And he didn't have
underage.
permission to speak to her. And then it
Right.
didn't even seem like this was supposed to be an official investigation because um I forget the cop's name, but he actually was kind of upset. Like, who told you to do that? Are you serious? And he was like, no, don't worry about it. And, making it seem like he had everything under control. And he was
Right.
telling him, we got to go about this smart. We can't get, just jump to things. And he more so was like, oh, now you seem like you're just trying to make excuses and you feel bad for them and you probably have some kind of connection to them. But he was saying, no, we can't go half behind because then we're not going to be able to gather all the evidence that we need. So I think he do have a point there. But do you think he is actually kind of being soft because he do kind of know them and know what their situation is? I don't know. Do you think it's a mixture?
Yeah, no, I think I'm going with the person who got the information from her, even though it was a little unethical. It was off the books and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But any kind of information that he get, it can lead to
Mm-hmm.
a real factual clue or
Right.
a lead that you can kind of unless you got somebody real good that's going to be able to put together the pieces. I think as
Mm-hmm.
long as he don't work with him, so that
Right.
daughter don't get to see him at all,
Mm-hmm.
and they may keep talking or whatever, and it's unethical, but
Mm-hmm.
he can get the information that he needs, and then him as a detective, the real person on investigating, he should be able to piece together and get the leads that
Right.
to know where to go and where to look for and where to poke to. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, yeah, it's a little technicality. It's a little, yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
gray. It's a little gray, but if he
Yeah,
work it
that's
right,
true.
he'll be good.
That's definitely true. Miss T makes some good points. She always be making the good points. Not yet, but
Right.
she will eventually if she keeps seeing the guy. And then she said if they start sleeping together, this could get worse. Yeah, I absolutely agree with
Yes.
that. And then she said, isn't that considered hearsay? Technically, it's just the daughter's feelings. Yeah, that's true too. I mean, it's not really concrete, but it's like that's the way they thinking already anyway. Because when he was having the conversation with Shauna, he said, "Listen, we got text messages, we got things connecting you." Because at first she was trying to act like she didn't know who the guy was. Then it was like, "Oh yeah, we had this
Everything.
accident and we had to exchange information." Then
Yeah.
she made it seem like the information or the reason why they was texting back and forth is because he was giving her a hard time with, getting his insurance information and all that. I said, Shauna, you
Yeah.
not remembering what Misty said to you, girl.
Right, right. And that's the whole thing. She's gonna clip herself up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he may not have all the all of the things, but he's constantly poking holes in every statement that she's made. And so then she has to
Mm-hmm.
tell a lie on top of another lie on top of another lie, and that never ends up good. So I
Exactly.
think she's gonna end up clipping herself up. And police, they pretty much are a little bit better at what they do because they've been skilled and
Mm-hmm.
schooled in how to do it and have experience in
Exactly.
doing it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
yeah.
definitely agree with that. So of course we see child the school call and you want to break down this, Lord? I was like, oh no.
Lord, so they're out looking for the little boy. Okay, so they're out. The next thing you know, she gets a phone call. When Simone gets a phone call and the lady is upset, she was like, "This is not a boarding school." She was like, "What?" She was like, "Well, maybe he went back to the school because he left from your place." And she was like, "He's been here for the last 2 hours." I was like, "OMG." The next thing you know, Ty starts to get this aggressive look on her face after Simone when she starts yelling at her or whatever, it feels like it triggers something or snaps something in her mind. And you can see how mean she's looking. She doesn't even look like she knows that she's driving the car anymore. All I see is the background speeding up. And I'm like, bitch, don't you need to be looking in front of you to see where you go? And next thing you know, boom, a damn car hit and it hit on Simone's side. So I'm really scared about Simone. And we do know from the previews that Ty is okay, unless it's a flashback. It may not be a flashback, but it may. Yes, evil Ty. It's that Ty that son said he don't like. He said it's a mean or bad mommy that I don't like. So yeah, so this is
Right.
gonna be a lot. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
that was crazy. I'm really, really worried. Oh,
Yes.
because that thing hit hard on that side. It came out of nowhere. I was like, what?
Yeah. She must have ran a red light at full
Yeah, that's what
speed.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
the
woman in
woman
the
in the
tree.
tree.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And look, if she
Yeah.
in the tree, oh Lord, this
Cause
time.
she just changed, her facial expression changed. She was just looking at her dead on while she's saying, "Look, this is why I'm saying you need help." Like they talking about he was at the school for the last one. Cause she was even like, "Oh, maybe he left and came back." That lady was like, "Look, I ain't got time to play games with you. This is
Right.
not no
Hello.
boarding school." I'm like, "Oh no, that's really dangerous, though. That's
It is.
beyond
It
sleepwalking."
is.
Mm-mm-mm. So of
If
course this.
something does
Mm-hmm.
happen to Simone, I hope that is the catalyst to make her get some get some help to try to get her out of
Right.
there. and not think that she
Mm-hmm.
can manage it herself, because clearly
Right.
she's not.
Yeah, I'm worried for Steve too, child. We still don't know what happened to Steve, where he
Yes,
disappeared to.
Peter,
We need to check on him immediately. I
Peter.
agree. Oh man. So of course this is when they finally, settled on that they was gonna cremate Jackie. They was actually arguing over her clothes. I kind of understood what they were saying. I know this is sensitive, but I mean they were right to a certain degree. Like, look, we could use her daggone somebody could use her clothes. She not gonna really need them. But of course Shauna didn't want to hear that. And
Right,
then Lottie had actually given her the chain, for her to go ahead and hold on to that. And so they, of course, said their little thing and ready to burn her. And I think at this point, that's when Natalie and Travis came back too. And they had the pants and they were saying, that supposedly they found these pants and they know that's a confirmation that Javi is born, and they're kind of like, oh no. And he also added the pants. I don't know if I had that screenshot, but he added the pants to the fire too to burn.
right.
And of course Lottie is like still saying no, I could feel him, he's not going or whatever. But they got him proceed to burn him, or burn her rather, and they all kind of like go on to eat and go to bed or whatever. I guess Child, Natalie, and Travis seemed like they got turned on. I don't know what was going on. The same time this was burning, they was having a little action, and it seemed like he was getting flashes of Lottie at the same time while he was with her. But I don't know what was going on with that.
Right. And see, whenever that illumination comes over Lottie and that stuff or whatever, and then also too, the same illumination is what went over the top of the tree and
Mm-hmm.
caused the snow to come down on right
Mm-hmm.
onto Jackie, causing it to
Right.
smoke and simmer. And I was
Yeah.
like, I felt like all of that stuff was connected, y'all. I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
there is something else at play.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's so good, so good.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
love that they call this
definitely.
a mystery, because this really is a mystery. We don't know what the heck.
It is. It is definitely. Yeah, when this ice fell down on top of her, I said, so now that's about to stop her from burning. I said, what's going on here? But yeah, it definitely, you right, Miss T. It was slow roasted Jackie, okay? Oh my goodness gracious, Lord, like slow cooker. Oh my goodness. I was like, what is happening here, baby? Mm-mm-mm.
And everybody started waking up like, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden it was like, child, are we eating our barbecue friend? I can't do it. I get it. I'm like, I know it's no food around. This part grossed me out so much, y'all. I couldn't take no pictures of the other part. I said, I know we out here. It's been months. We ain't got no meat. I think I would end up being one of the ones that ends up getting eaten because I don't think I could do it. I know this is life or death. You gotta eat something, you gotta drink water, all that good stuff. But I just do not think I could do it. Of course, I've never been in this situation. We know that
Right.
it was actually a real life story like that before with an airplane, and they made a movie about that one where they
Yeah.
had to end up, but I don't think I could, y'all. Okay, I
I
don't think
know,
I
I
could. But
know.
they was making it seem like this was smelling good, and they was
Right.
like, "Oh, this is what she want us to do." What did you think about this whole part?
Oh my God. I thought it was, oh my God. I
Miss
cannot
T
believe,
said Jackie was smelling amazing that next morning. I guess so.
baby, they woke up like it was a smorgasbord. Like they was like, what is that? But listen, to be fair, like we out here eating animals. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a stretch. I don't see
Right.
myself doing it. But like I said, I have not been in that situation. I don't see myself doing it, but
Mm-hmm.
listen, never say never. It depends on how good
Right.
it's smelling. It's like, no, this way.
Yeah,
I was
because
just playing, I was just
it's
playing.
easy for me to say, and then just the way that, because I'm like, I mean, we knew at one point it was going to get to that. I guess it's just the way that the show went about displaying it and telling the story, because we making it seem like it was sensual, and oh, she asked us to do this, she wants us to do this. I was just like, girl, for real, no, like, no, nothing about that would be turning me on, nothing would be appealing, you know
Right.
obviously we knew one time or another, because I was actually expecting kind of that last season, and I'm like, okay, we didn't get it last season, so we knew it was coming sooner or later. But I was like,
Yeah,
whoa, I guess I just wasn't expecting it to come, the way that
that
it
fast.
did.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really what we doing. And so they
Boy,
was
oh
going to
boy.
town, baby. They was acting like this the best thing they ever,
Oh my
taste.
God. And you saw
I
how would they cut it with how they cut it at like this Greek like they were Greek doctors
right.
this whole thing. And it was given gluttony. It was given like it
Hmm.
was just it had so many different metaphors and what it stood for and what it was doing. I was
Hmm.
just
Jackie, Miss T, that's why I said that I would probably be the next one eating, because baby Coach was me and I was Coach. Okay, Miss T said Coach is in trouble. He's definitely the weakest link. I feel like I would have been like Coach. Coach
yeah.
went in that daggone house and was like, what the hell is this? And as soon as I saw that part, I was like, Coach, you me and I'm you. I think I literally tweeted that out when I saw that part. I was like, because I couldn't do it. He slammed that door shut. He was like, these people done lost their damn minds.
Right. They gone. Gone.
Yeah.
Because when you see the previews of next week, they are gone. Like it's
Yeah.
they're gonna be dealing with all of the ramifications of processing that they did that because
Right.
that's not an easy thing to process. Because just like
Right.
how you say it just would be a no for you, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they probably thought it would have been a no for them too.
Right,
And
right, right.
they did it, it's like, ooh,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot to digest.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know, y'all. So at this point, I guess, like you said, we gonna be seeing how they are feeling, after the fact. I know they ain't never tell Jackie mama like we ate your daughter. I guess they just said she burned up. Oh God, y'all.
She ain't make it. She ain't make it. That's all.
Right. She ain't make it. That's it. So I don't know. Like, do y'all think that this, I guess it don't, we just have to see, because with this show, you never know. But I was about to say, do y'all think it's a thing where they start literally hunting people down, or is it just like when we know somebody is dead, we just gonna start using up? I don't know, because this show is something else, baby.
It
Mm-mm-mm.
is. It is. And I wonder because we see three new younger people, but we don't see them
Mm-hmm.
in the present day. You remember this
Right.
season? We got three new younger people,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't add up in this timeline. So
Mm-hmm.
that could possibly like picking off people like that might really start literally happening, especially if they were in there for years, down there for
Yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, you're right, Miss T. They did start out last season with the girl in the pit, and we was trying to figure out like, okay, what's going here, and then we, kind of got all this other story. So somewhere down the line, we gonna come back to that and how
Mhm.
all of that is gonna come into play. And then even that night when they had
And
the
that
shrooms, and they was over there trying to do whatever they was trying to do to Travis, so we know it's gonna be some stuff that's gonna get crazy out there. We just don't know all the details and exactly how it's gonna go. That's what keeps it intriguing. Like, what is
right,
really gonna be
right.
happening?
So, what do you think about the necklace? The symbolism of the necklace, how the necklace keeps moving from person to person. I think they took it off of Jackie. They gave it to um, Shauna, but
Yeah,
I feel like the necklace was on somebody before, or
I'm not.
is it on somebody on a different person in the present day?
I'm not too sure. I don't know if that's the same necklace that what was her name? When Natalie saw at Lottie. I feel like that might not have been the same exact one
It
because
might
that
not
one
be.
seemed like it had the same symbol that they for some reason kept seeing like around on the trees in different places. So I'm not too sure exactly what the connection is, but I'm assuming that they showing that us that for a reason in
Right.
some
That's what
kind
I
of
said. Keep
way.
it in your mind for later
Mm-hmm.
on if you see it a little bit later.
Right. Yeah, this is definitely interesting, y'all. But I definitely did get
It's
a
crazy.
little sick to the stomach with that part. I was like, "Oh, this will be going now." So at least I know to prepare myself going forward and to not be eating nothing when I'm watching this,
Man,
because
coach is
baby,
scared like that.
yes, definitely.
He got to be scared. He mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. And I know that.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Whoever, but then the
Oh Lord, she said,
and Shauna
"Whoever
put it
is
on her.
where." She
That's
said, if
I'm
you
thinking
see
Shauna didn't
Jackie's
put it on
necklace on
herself.
somebody, they the next to be roasted. Lord, Miss T. Mm-mm, that's how we choose who gets on the grill.
And
Oh
because it
my
feels like it's going to
God.
be a pact between the ladies. I think it was one guy at the
Mm-hmm.
table. I think it was one guy partaking, but
Right.
maybe it will become something like that, and it's like a look that people will give. You know, I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
this thing. It's
Right. We
gonna be a mess.
just kind
All
of
I know.
speculating because, baby, this show is hard. So we know what the next episode they're going to be
Right.
dealing with, the fact that they did this. We also gonna, I guess, see Shauna trying to uh maneuver with these daggone cops. It look like somebody else is gonna be coming into play too. I'm not too sure who that was. And we gonna be trying to see if Natalie is actually gonna get away from daggone Lottie or not. I guess. And if Ty's wife is okay. Does she make it or does she not make it? Those is the questions. I don't know. Cause is Ty gonna actually back out and focus on herself? I doubt it very much. But maybe
No,
she
it's
won't have no choice if it
right.
is something serious, even if the wife is in the hospital for a while in some type of coma or whatever, and then she
Yeah,
have to get her son, maybe
yeah,
that would be a sense of where she would say, "Listen, I got too much going on right now, and I got to be home." I don't know, but Ty, you need some help, girl.
right, right. She definitely do.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, coach
Mhm.
is next.
Yeah.
You be safe driving, Moochie.
Yeah. Be safe. I thank all of y'all for stopping in. I think that's pretty much,
That was fun.
episode 2. I'm
Mm-mm-mm.
looking forward to episode 3. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I'm excited to have this show back.
Yeah.
But like I said,
Definitely
y'all.
keeps you on your toes. It's one of those
Mm-hmm.
shows that keep you on your toes. You have to look. I know I watched the episode like 2, 3 times
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out some things. Like I said, I think I really am going to have to go back and binge season 1 again. I am.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because I had originally watched the first episode, and then I went back and binge because I wanted to binge before the season even started, but it was just too much
Right.
stuff going on. I couldn't.
Right.
And then I
Yeah.
rewatched the first episode, and I watched this second one about 2 times too because I was like, "Yo, this is just deep. It really is.
Right. Right.
There's so much going on." Hey, Taria.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we got, you guys. Of course, if y'all, please, if you watching this, like, comment, share, subscribe, y'all. I am trying to, get to 700 subscribers. That's the goal, on the way to 1,000, hopefully. So if y'all
1,000.
not subscribed, please subscribe, okay? Make sure your notifications is turned on. If you're not following on social media, follow us both on social media. Subscribe to us both, Nita the Diva. Um, you want to tell them anything you got coming up on your channel?
Um, no, just
Is it tonight? Yeah, because I'm starting to lose the daggone days, y'all. Tonight at 8, I'm gonna be on with Just Call Me EJ. We gonna be covering Zatima episodes 5 and 6. I also got some recaps for Zatima up. I got Power Book 2 up, Snowfall up. Well, me and Muchella had did a live. I think that was Thursday night. We usually do Snowfall on Thursdays. We do Love at the Lockup Fridays. And then I have Bel Air up. So if y'all just so happen not to have seen any of those, check those out. I also did Self Care Saturday on Saturday. I'm trying to do more lives, y'all. I've been getting busy, and I did a what you should be watching, trying to give you guys some, breakdowns of what come out in the movie theater and streaming services for the month. So if there's anything that y'all want to check out of that, please do. And we appreciate y'all. We will see y'all next time. Thank y'all.
Until
Same
next
time,
time.
same place next week.
Bye.
Later, y'all.